only around 700 people per year attempt this 129-kilometer or 80-mile stretch, and that's less than those that attempt Mount Everest. The frigid, fast-moving waters trapped his leg between the large boulders. He got stuck. So this started the most complex rescue that Tasmania has ever seen. He remembered thinking, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this.
Sorry. Just give me 5 seconds.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Megan, and I had a great day today because I saw a cardinal.
Oh, that cardinal was beautiful in that tree. It was so bright.
And loud.
You know what? We're going to
did you send a video of this?
She sent a
Then I
video.
missed.
No. She sent a
sent a
photo
photo.
of it, but you could hear it in the background of all her voice notes. So
Exactly.
we'll
Oh,
put a little
yes.
picture.
That
is
It's beautiful.
Remind me to send that to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
I also had a
better
lovely
one.
walk today as well, but I did not see any cardinals, but we saw some other little creatures, so like squirrels.
I
Okay,
keep
so
seeing
say, like,
bunnies.
don't say
There's lots of
rats.
bunnies around this time.
I saw a little baby bunny too
Oh
near
my
the train
We
station.
had
So
two-
tiny.
So there's a little baby bunny that I'm pretty sure was living in our bushes for the longest time because we kept seeing it at nighttime. And then we saw another little baby one recently up by the there's like a little power station near us. And then we saw another bunny last night when we were walking too.
nature.
Yeah.
I love
I love all
them
the
when the
bunnies.
baby
There's-
bunnies come out.
Sometimes we
They're
walk
so
on the train
cute.
tracks too, and there's all kinds of bunnies around there. I love
Are
them.
these train
I hope
tracks
they're being
in
safe.
use?
Yeah, they're in use. But you can
Just be
there's
careful.
lots of space.
Yeah.
Remember I
baby
told you the
bunnies.
first date with Vadim where he was like, you want to go for a walk on the train tracks? And I was like, are you trying to murder me?
I probably blocked that
This
out
is
because
probably why Meg and I were so concerned about you having a new boyfriend.
Potentially. No, like, and he still to this day is kind of like, I don't really get it. And I'm like, how
do you guys want to go like hang out under a
he's,
bridge
and then
for our
he's like,
first date?
can I take you to Europe? For
Yeah.
like a long period of time, and like we only met him once. I don't know how we feel about
Listen,
this.
Chantel,
like-
let me hold on to your passport. I'll keep it safe for you.
Yeah, no, and it's funny
I
because
was like, if someone's gonna be
any-
trafficked, it's gonna be Chantel.
Oh, it's
like,
gonna
we're
be you.
We're so
hey, that
worried
already almost happened once in Mexico, so let's not do that again.
Okay,
Who hasn't that happened to in Mexico,
Right?
really?
But like, no, but any woman that I tell that story to about our first date where he invited me to go on train tracks, and like I told him immediately, like, are you trying to kill me? Like that was my response. And
You have to tell me if you're trying to kill me.
You have to tell me. It's the law.
Yeah, I mean, if he is, he's really playing the long game at this point. Like,
Any day now.
Yeah,
He
I'm
was,
gonna
he
have
was
it.
trying to,
Perfect
and then he fell in love
time.
with me. Now he has Stockholm syndrome, basically.
right
So it
now,
was,
if anyone's gonna murder anyone, it's gonna be you.
Oh, and
taking
I
him
tell
out.
him
Yes.
all the time.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before we get started, I was going to tell you guys my dream, and since it was water related, I figured I would wait
Yes.
until now. So like, first part of my dream was like definitely more of like a nightmare where I screamed myself awake because I got trapped in a car that was trapped, like closed the door on myself, and my arm was sticking out and I couldn't get it back open, but the car was also partially underwater. So I screamed myself awake before I drowned. But then the next part of the dream was that Megan met some person and somehow got like the inside scoop on the fact that the back of the Titanic had risen up from the bottom of the ocean. And she was like getting us out there to be like the first people to see it. And
So
I guess
something
there
I
was
would
some
do.
Something that sounds real.
very, very Megan core. And it was like something happened where some gas had been trapped in the back of it over years, and it slowly like was rising up. And so most of the dream was us like, I was like really nervous for some reason in my dream. I was like, I don't know
That's
if
not
we should
you.
do this, guys. Like this
That's not
feels
you.
not me at all. I was very like, oh my God, like what are we doing? And then we had to swim all the way there though, from like Newfoundland to
I thought you were going to say like from a boat off, the spot. But
from Newfoundland, we had to swim there. We weren't allowed to like take a boat out or something because it was
just
like
P.S. for those that don't know, it's not like near Newfoundland. They say off the coast of. It's literally in the middle of the ocean
Yeah,
still. Like
yeah.
it's not
it's
at
just
all.
the closest land by many hundreds of miles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, wow, thank God the water's like abnormally warm this year. It was like we were like swimming
Why?
in like the Pacific.
it wasn't
like it was really warm.
April.
No. It was not April that this was happening. It was like midsummer. And I was like, oh, this is like bathwater. This is great. And it was like crystal blue.
As someone who's lived in Newfoundland, that's
Not-
never the case
not-
ever.
no,
I don't care what time of
nearly.
year it is.
As someone who
And-
just came back from Nova Scotia beaches, very close,
Cold.
very similar. Yeah.
Very cold.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I woke up just as we were like slowly getting to it. And I remember being like, oh my God, this is going to feel like a video game. Like, what are we doing? And we were just like all like hyped up. And I was like, oh my God, why aren't we filming this for the podcast? And like,
Damn it.
yeah. Like, anyways, then I woke up, but I was pretty, if that happens, then I'm a witch. So
Listen,
If you can
subscribe to
swim
the
to
podcast
Titanic,
if you're part
then
2.
you are, for sure.
yeah. But yeah.
So that all
That
sounds
was-
so plausible. So I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Megan,
you
I don't
are a
know.
witch and
I don't
that's
know
the
how
future.
you got
I
these
mean,
ins.
You
but-
did go to the Titanic exhibit recently. So
Mm.
there's that. So it's been on
There's
the
that.
brain.
there was no mention of gas, but maybe I have to go back again and listen.
I mean,
more
they did
carefully.
try to
And start
raise
at the beginning.
the Titanic before. Remember they
yeah.
tried to raise that piece up, and they
Piece
had
up,
like
yeah.
a cruise ship where people paid a ton of money to watch them raise up this piece, and it was almost at the service, and it fell. Do you guys
I don't
remember?
I
remember
have no
this.
memory of this.
Did you
No
tell us
memory.
Yeah,
this?
this is real life. This is like something that
No, but you
happened.
told us this in the podcast episode.
I think so.
I
remember
think
you
I would
talking
have
about
remembered.
trying to.
I'm gonna have to flash back and
Okay, well, I'm gonna put it in right here if we can find it.
okay, don't make me find it though. Like if I can find it, great.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Oh my
download all our
God.
transcripts of all time and find.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Wow.
But yeah, no, that was actually something that happened. I think in the 90s. Maybe.
How close to
I
the
could be
top
wrong
was
with
it
the
that
year.
it fell? Like how close?
Like
to the surface?
several like meters away or something. Like so close.
Really?
Damn.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, that would be just.
It
that-
was from my episode where I talked about like the Titanic artifacts and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I
It was
assumed
from
it would have
that.
been in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Wish
okay.
I could remember.
Okay, well, we'll do a little flashback for you
Yeah.
ladies.
If I can find it, I'll find
Yes.
it right here and I'll
Okay.
pop it in.
Another attempt was to raise a 24 by 16 foot piece of the hull. So the hull, I mean the side of the ship. And this piece,
That's
I guess, had kind of
ambitious.
fallen. Yes. It was quite the endeavor. And they actually made this big, what Robert Ballard said was almost like a circus out of it.
He seems
said
like such a
that-
no nonsense kind of guy, don't you think?
yeah, for sure. So cruise ships were booked to be on site, and even though the people were going to be in their rooms watching on a monitor, but
I would still
guess
go
at the
do it. That'd be
end-
cool.
Yeah, it cost $1,800 to $6,000 to go.
Never mind.
Um, I mean, 1,800 is not
Yeah, it doesn't
terrible,
seem
but yeah,
bad.
6,000.
Yeah,
it's like-
but to 6,000. So where's the 1,800? Because like
yes,
you're in
I
you're
mean,
in the
there were-
you're in the hull of the ship, underground, underwater.
Yeah. Now they
don't
would
get a
get
window.
to afterwards when they got to shore, be able to see the piece, I guess. So there was that element. They unfortunately underestimated how heavy this piece would be. This piece was 14,000 kilograms, so over 30,000 pounds, and it's made of iron and bronze.
Wow.
So it ended up actually breaking loose when it was close to the surface. It was like, I don't know, a few hundred feet from the surface. And then it fell back down to where it was.
And this has nothing to do with Titanic, I'm assuming, this case.
no, but it might be why I was thinking about like being underwater. So we'll see what happens.
I vaguely recall from last episode you said it's not great, but it's not as bad as what you've done to us before.
Yes. Well, those who have read the titles see that the big, bolded caps lock is survival. So
Okay.
so this
Okay.
is the about the Franklin River rescue, which was very recent. So what happened was that I saw an article, and then I read that article and was like, I was gonna send it to you guys, and I was like, no,
Wait.
No,
Surprise.
they have to wait.
Yeah. And then so the article was based off of a like a documentary that they did. Well, not really a documentary. It's like an hour special that they did.
That's still a documentary.
And
Yeah.
yeah, this is just, it's amazing. It's so amazing. So we're going to get into this unbelievable survival story. So it starts off in the very beautiful, remote, and rugged part of Tasmania, Australia. And I
okay.
won't lie, watching this like documentary miniseries on it was like the accents still get me, even though I lived
I
there for
knew
so
it.
long. They get me so much.
Please.
Like,
Can you please speak in this whole episode with an accent? Because
I-
if anyone can do it,
please, I
you
I
live
can't.
there, girl.
I
Come
can't.
on.
I even
she
tried,
was
but I was
in
like, should I be funny every time I'm
Australia. New
quoting?
Zealand is very similar accent.
A
Any
little different though.
differences?
If you tell, listen, if you mess up a Kiwi accent and call them Australian, they'll rip your face
Deaf.
off. If
Yeah.
you
Do they
call an Australian
like
a
being called
Kiwi,
that?
no, they hate it. If you
That's what
call
I
an
thought.
Australian a Kiwi though, they're a little more like, oh, whatever. Yeah, it's fine. Like, no, I'm Aussie. But
It's kind of
don't
like
do it the
calling
other
a
way.
Canadian an American.
Yes, but an American would be fine with being called a Canadian. You know?
I don't think
Oh,
so.
maybe not.
I think
maybe not
Americans
these
are
days.
fine with being called American for the most part too. I think they were- Unless they're traveling, just really just when they're traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So
Okay, this is off topic, and then we're gonna get back into it. But there is a scene in American Dad, one episode I cannot recall, but if you're not familiar, American Dad, it's a Seth MacFarlane Family Guy type.
hilarious.
It's like one of my
Roger.
favorite shows ever. So there's a scene where Roger the alien and Klaus the German talking fish. It makes sense if you know it. They're traveling in Europe and they put on Canadian flags, and there's like just go with it.
Yeah.
So like they get
Doesn't
it.
he even still have like the accent too? And he's like, just go with it.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
Roger is
Mhm.
American,
You know,
but
no,
Klaus,
but Klaus
is so German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My kids are gonna be so lucky. They have both. They'll have both passports. They can just whoever's the most convenient at the time.
Although
Most
I know that
likely
they said that a lot of places that are
Canada.
traveling now, they don't, because people used to put like a Canadian flag on them, because like there was a lot of places that Americans used to go that they would not get a good like greeting, that they started
Okay.
to now if you have a Canadian flag on you, they don't necessarily believe that you're Canadian.
I think that for a long time we all knew that. Like Canadians knew that.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you're
mean,
over in
I
Europe, I
don't
mean they
put
can tell you're
Canadian flags
American.
on my things. I just, you talk to me, you figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
sorry 3 times.
Yeah.
And we met a minute ago.
I ordered a medium double at Starbucks, and there's like, wait,
Me.
get out.
Yeah.
Okay, back to this. So,
Yeah.
the place that we were going to in Tasmania, Australia, is the Franklin River, and it is a known spot for whitewater rafting adventures. And this place is breathtaking. It has deep gorges, running rapids, many waterfalls, and just a ton of wilderness. But it is not for the faint of heart. Only around 700 people per year attempt this 129-kilometer or 80-mile stretch each year. And that's less than those that attempt Mount Everest.
Huh?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So you can go to the first photo there. This is the map. You can see the very, very long winding river. So the top
Oh,
part is
it's
where you
pronounced
start.
winding.
Winding.
What did I say?
Winding. I don't know
Winding.
why you
Oh,
We just want to make sure our listeners know that
It's just like that meme,
we know the
Chantel.
word.
Actually, it's
actually?
winding. But to
We
be
act-
fair, English is so incredibly hard. So
Right. We
like,
actually I've had times where I've messed up
Can I
words where
just-
I'm like, what did I say here? Like I know I kind of said the word, but I didn't quite get there. And
can I just pretend that English is not my first language? Can I do
No.
that? No? Okay.
No.
only if you can speak a little bit of anything else. Then
If you
I'll
can
believe
speak Danish, then we'll let it slide.
Exactly.
I can swear a
So-
little bit in Danish. That's about it.
That counts.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So, the top there is where you start, which is just below the Collingwood River. And
This is
actually,
so
Franklin
long.
River continues to go even further to
Yeah,
the
you
right
couldn't get it all in
there.
the picture.
Holy.
Oh, I know.
right?
I couldn't get the whole thing. So then
Shit.
you go all the way down to where I put the arrow down at the bottom, and that's near the Gordon River. And so this is the main area that people do their whitewater rafting around. So that's 129 kilometers.
Wow.
So
Christ.
rapids.
Oh, I kind of see it go through here. Never mind.
Yes,
I
it
see
goes
very
like
faint.
over and down.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
it
goes
was
over
like
a little bit that
the one
way.
on the left there that kind of went off screen. I was like,
No, no,
Chantal,
no,
you didn't
no.
even
So
get the
this
river in
goes-
here.
Chantel, you cropped this photo terribly.
I had to take two screenshots and put them together to make this.
Oh my
Thank
god, you freaking graphic designer.
You can always zoom out on
I
your browser.
hate when you do that with your stupid tuggery. I hate it.
Okay.
This river is insane. There's so many switchbacks. If
Yeah.
you are
Mhm.
listening to this and you're driving, just picture it. But when you get home, we'll post it
Like,
on
definitely look at
Instagram
it.
and the website.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
god.
it goes forever, and it's
Ugh.
just it's like it looks
Yeah.
like if you
I'd
threw a
say-
shoestring on the ground and was like, just do whatever you want to do, and that's the river.
And the shoestrings in a tornado.
And it's 129 kilometers long.
Or this is the path you walk when you're with a small child who
Yes.
has another
And
let them
agenda.
lead.
And you are going to a
Yes.
store 10 minutes away. This is the path that you
Okay,
take.
Yes.
I'm 2 sentences in. So,
Whew, okay, you got this.
rapids. They had grades. I did not know this before I looked into this story.
Oh, no,
so,
that makes sense. Same with like hikes and trails and
yeah,
stuff.
so
Okay.
they have grades from 1 to 6. So grade 1 is like very easy, small waves, few obstacles. You don't have to maneuver a lot, almost like
I'll take
canoeing down a river that's kind of flowing in any direction.
Okay,
grade
so you just are
2
in there like this and you're
yes.
just going.
You're fine. Grade 2, moderately difficult with some waves, clear passages, some maneuvering. 3, difficult, high and irregular waves, narrow passages, potential for more significant maneuvering. 4, very difficult, powerful waves, obstacles, the need for precise and expert maneuvering. 5, extremely difficult, potentially dangerous, with violent and congested rapids, required expert skills and experience. And grade 6, these are considered unrunnable due to extreme difficulty and high risk of injury or death. Most websites say that you should not run these.
Oh.
So,
So like the one in the latest Jurassic Park movie that I saw is probably a 6.
Oh, I
Because you get
see
chased
that.
by
see
a
it.
T-Rex.
I
Yeah.
did not see that
Well,
yet. But
of
there's a
course, when-
T-Rex involved.
when
like,
in
yes,
Rome.
100%. So you can
Now
kind
I
of like
know.
scroll through the next 5 photos. These are just photos that I found on a website of people who have done this trip before. So it kind of gives you an idea of like the beauty and the rapids.
Pretty.
So the Franklin River has anywhere between a grade 2 to 6. And the grades of
Okay.
certain areas can also change depending on the area, if there's been
like-
substantial rain or not enough rain.
Yeah.
And the Franklin River has an area called the Side Slip, which is around a grade 2. And then they also have places called the Nasty Notch, Thunder Rush, and the Cauldron that are graded 5 and 6. And in fact, there were very few sections that I could find that were actually a 3 and under. Most were between a 4 to 6.
Can I also
Yeah.
just say that
If
the grading
it's-
system goes from not too bad to the next step is like you might die. I feel like there was no actual like increment.
Well,
It
yeah,
was
2
like
was like okay.
2 was
like,
okay. But then, I mean, for only 6 grades, it does go to like 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
And like if you do
Um,
want to do this, so you don't want the death one, like 6. Do you just get out of the water and walk your
So
canoe?
this is
or-
what actually
probably don't
happens.
go.
So this run can actually take anywhere from 6 to 10 days to complete, depending on the rain. So there's no roads that lead to the river. You can only access it by helicopter or trekking into the forest to reach it.
well, it's already out of my price
So-
range. Also, I don't have a death wish, so I just will simply never go here.
So you can see that last photo that I put in of the 5 that they're like rock climbing this area because there's lots
Mhm.
of like portaging and camping, and you sometimes have to wait out high level water levels and significant rainfall. You can sometimes get to a rapid that's normally a 5 and maybe you have the expertise to do it, but now it had a bunch of rainfall and it's actually a level 6. So we shouldn't
Who
do this.
hurt
we should walk
you?
past this.
I know. I'm like, I feel like some people have different definitions of fun.
I think this about anybody that climbs the Mount Everest as well. So if fewer people do this, you know, we can start to see why.
Right.
This river also contains many vertical descent drops, and one is as high as 940 meters. That's 3,080 feet.
Why are you doing this? I'm sorry.
Okay, that has to be like a level 7 at this point. That's crazy.
It's off the chart.
off the charts.
So now that you have a very minimal look into what kind of adventure this would be to embark
I've seen
on,
enough. I've seen way more
I'm
than I want.
going to tell you about a fateful trip in November of 2024.
Damn,
so
that is
very
recent.
and a
Mhm.
small action that would change the life of 65-year-old Lithuanian man named Valdis Bailuaskas.
Nailed it.
Yes, thank you. So you can go to the next
Yes.
photo there. It's a picture of a large group of people. I told you who Valdis is.
Yeah.
The other person
He needs to wear more
Convenient
sunscreen.
arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially
Yes,
on
thank
his
you for the arrow.
face.
The other person that I'm going to talk about a lot because he played a lot in the documentary is the guy that is holding the right side of the flag. His name is Arvidas, and he's
With
one
the
of his good
beard and the
friends
black
with
shirt?
the little beard and the black shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of these people here are the group. I think part is another group that were there as well at this specific trip. But just I wanted you to have a photo of his before everything. So
His before, okay.
Valdez was a very experienced rafter. He had almost 50 years under his belt by the time this trip came around. So his friends and rafting partner, Arvidas, said that during Christmas of 2012, Valdez and some of his other rafting friends had drunkenly come up with the idea that they would raft one river a year on a different continent and they would raise a Lithuanian flag in those places.
Love that energy.
Some close
Yes.
to them described this as a very monumental statement of celebration of independence because when they grew up, Lithuania was occupied by the USSR and they did not have the freedom to travel. So now
God
they're at a
damn.
point where they're doing something that they really want to do, and so they're raising the flag when they go to each place.
I love
I
this.
think they
and
had
also,
a plan to
that's
do
a very
5
small
different
country.
continents.
So
So anyways, this was supposed to be their last continent that they were going to. So for this trip in November, 12 experienced rafters and friends, including Valdez, set off on an expedition through the Franklin River. And shortly after reaching Victoria, Australia, one of the crew was sent to the hospital with pneumonia, leaving just 11 to continue on with the challenge ahead. Shortly after,
Sounds like they
before
were the
even
lucky
headed to
one.
the river, another had badly injured his arm. So only 10 were left to continue.
Another lucky
dropping like
one.
flies.
Yeah, already, before they even get there. So
Yeah, they're like, oh, my arm hurts. I don't know if I could continue.
he
I
started
have
reading
this
some things
thing-
online.
Yeah, I don't know. It's it just feels weird. I
Yeah,
just think
it
it's better
does.
that I don't go.
Got these
Yeah.
mosquito bites. I think
I'll
I
wave
should,
the flag at the finish line.
Yeah, that's right.
For you.
So November 17th, 2024, the team registered at the base of the Collingwood River and started their adventure. While the water was very still to start, it was later that day that the team would already be met with 80 centimeters rise in the river from rains that forced them onto shores. So from here, they were back and forth between the water, portaging, and camping. November 22nd, 2024, around lunchtime, the team was in an area called the Cascades Rapids, and they were scouting the area with their drone to see what risks may be ahead in this area.
That's smart, actually.
So
Wow,
that's
very
what they
smart.
had. They had these drones that would go. What they would do is they would throw the raft into the water. They would put the drones up, and they would kind of see what was happening without anybody on it. And
even
then they would
harder.
decide, like, should we
Smarter.
do this or should we continue to portage? So the team finally decided that the risks were too high at this time in the area, that there was going to be lots of rapids ahead that they could go into. So they were going to continue on to portage from here to the next
Can you
part.
just clarify for those that don't know what portage
I mean,
refers
you're
to?
literally carrying your raft and all your gear and everything through the woods. It's not easy, especially through
And-
here. There's not
And
paths.
probably not a trail, though.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
again, there's so many reasons why I would not be interested in this trip whatsoever.
I love camping. I will never portage camp.
yes,
never.
camping, cool. Oh, there's a lake. I go
Yeah,
on the
but-
canoe and I come back, or kayak, cool.
Yeah.
When I have to carry even my own bag, I'm like, this is a lot.
I'm
Like,
mad.
carrying
if I
like,
have to
water
park the car at the
coolers or,
site and
like-
take out the cooler, like, I'm already mad. Like,
That's
Yeah.
almost too much.
Yeah.
Like that's almost like, what do you mean it's 5 minutes away?
Mhm.
All right.
hmm So the team, they decided it was too high. They were going to portage. Arvidas was starting to get sick now as well. And he was sitting on a rock filming while watching his friends pull in the rafts. And he was watching Valdez walk back and forth and jump across rocks. Something
Oh,
he has
God.
done probably 1,000 times in his life by this point. Only this time, his boot slipped and Valdez fell between 2 large boulders. So the next thing I have is a video for you. It's 10 seconds, maybe less.
All right, you ready,
Okay.
Megan?
Yep. 3, 2, 1.
wildest.
Okay.
Okay. So
I have to watch it.
Okay. Okay. That doesn't look too.
the
bad.
frigid, fast-moving waters trapped his leg between the large boulders.
He
Valdez couldn't get out no matter how hard he tried. He was chest deep in 10-degree water rushing at him from anywhere from 12 to 20 kilometers per hour.
And
His
and
friends-
he, like, got hit pretty hard, too, in the head.
I think his head was okay. He's wearing a helmet at that time.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
up to
Okay.
like his shoulders.
I
in
thought this
water.
was him, like, hitting maybe going unconscious, and that's why he wasn't coming up.
No,
Oh,
so
wow.
the rapids just took him and like shoved him between these boulders.
Oh, my God.
His friends very quickly sprang into action. They put safety ropes around him and began to try and feel his leg and see how it was wedged in. They were using paddles, attempting to shift his weight, twisting, pulling, everything that they could think of on their own for about an hour. So you can go to the next video and it's just showing how strong these rapids are.
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
strong.
That, like, the wind really puts in perspective, like, because the water
Wow.
itself doesn't quite give you the full picture, but just seeing that
Mm-mm.
wind.
But he's absorbing all of that energy from that rushing
Wow.
water, and he's pinned against, like, well, the water is supposed to go right where he's trapped and go
Yes.
through that crack in the
Yeah.
rock. So he's absorbing
And
all of
it's
that
all that
energy.
water's coming to that one little spot too, so
Oh
it
Yeah,
must
my
be a
so
lot
God.
it's
of
like even worse. So that's what I was really trying to get an understanding, because like the rapids themselves, when I was looking it up, don't actually indicate how fast water is going. So those grades don't have anything to do with how fast it is. It's just kind of like more so obstacles and what you might have to go
Mhm.
through. So when I was looking it up, they said that at this area, that's why it's anywhere between 12 to 20 kilometers per hour, because when things get narrower, they tend to go faster because they're all pushing, right?
Yeah.
So this was just probably so fast there. And I think I don't put in any more videos. I'll have to show you. You can go to the link later. We'll have it on our references too. There's a link
Okay.
for like the article that I mainly use to kind of go through all of this, as well as the videos. And first of all, even though I'm going through a lot of these, you should watch these videos later. They're so emotional to hear everything that's going through. Like I almost cried
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 times.
Get in
So
line.
Megan is like gonna be sobbing, but it's so intense what was happening. And like sometimes the water does start to go a little bit slower, so obviously things are they change and they ebb and
Mhm.
flow, as you would say. um but yeah, it's pretty intense what's happening right there. So they were trying about an hour to try and get him out, and his friend said how Valdez stayed very positive this whole time. He wasn't complaining, he was just
You have
stating,
to
I
be, like,
can't get my foot
mentally.
out.
Mhm.
So finally, they decided that they needed professional intervention, and they sent out an SOS on their satellite phone saying, "Our friend trapped his leg under the rocks and we need help." The first crew sprang into action quickly. They knew that chance of hypothermia and the river level rising were both major risks that they were playing against. Even a few millimeters of rain would have been enough to drown Valdez. They
Oh,
need to get out
wow.
there and get the initial information, severity of injury, and how he was trapped, and pictures of the scene. So the rescue helicopter could not land in this area, and the team had to be winched down onto the rocks. That was
Oh
described
my
as
god.
like working on an ice rink because of how slippery these rocks become. The team got the information that they needed, and they sent for more gear. So the first team's there and they're like, hey, this is exactly what's happening. This is what we need. So this started the most complex rescue that Tasmania has ever seen. It involved 2 helicopters that had to deliver 500 kilograms of gear and a record-breaking 57 winches.
Oh my God.
By the time the second helicopter
Crazy.
had arrived with more gear and people, there was only about an hour and a half left of daylight for them to work with. Dr. Nick Scott was part of this rescue team, and he did not have high hopes for where this may end. He kept stating how calm Valdez was, that he must have been in a lot of pain, and he must have understood the severity of the situation. But he was very calm. He said he called him the perfect patient, which, like, I get. You don't want somebody who's going to
Mhm.
be freaking out.
Freaking out, right.
I'm a people pleaser. That would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Inside, you're
but
like,
when
oh my
people
God,
are
oh my God, oh my
stuck in
God.
water, they can not be themselves at all, and they
Most people would
Yeah,
can
panic
yeah,
immensely, and then
right.
that just makes everything harder, and, like, of course, you understand why you'd be nervous,
of
but it doesn't
Yeah.
course.
make anyone trying to save you more effective, so
When I was back and I did lifeguard training, like,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
always supposed to approach people with your foot first
I
yeah.
because
remember
you
you
might
said
need to
that.
kick
You
them
you kick those
away, like,
people because they're not
Mm-hmm.
if
thinking
they're
logically
gonna
because
try to
they're
drown
scared.
you, yeah, you have to,
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
talk to them, like, come in slow, ready to
Yeah,
push
like,
away if you
don't
have to.
climb onto me, otherwise we both die.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I would say.
So, so now, as darkness fell, some of the rescue team tried to manually remove him with lifting and pulling together. So they were kind of trying the same thing that his friends were trying, but like multiples of them moving him in different directions, trying at the same time. So they tried to put a sling around his leg as far down as they could reach. The rescuers stated that the undertow was so strong they could feel it trying to pull them away as well. So next they brought in hydraulic equipment, spreaders and airbags, things that are commonly used when buildings collapse or in cave rescues, and they were hoping to get some
Oh.
movement of the rock so that Valdez could be pulled out. But again, this didn't work. The next idea was a jackhammer for the rock. But it was
Damn.
decided that it would be too dangerous and perhaps even more likely to make things worse. Which
Yeah.
makes sense. The rock could fall
Things
apart. They
shift.
could lose their
Hits his leg.
ability. Well, not even that. They could lose their ability to maybe even have a place to stand on at this point to work with, or he could
I'm
get
surprised
swept
they
away
had
with the
all that
rapids. Like,
equipment
well,
just
that's
to get all that
500
equipment out
kilograms of
there
equipment that they brought down.
that
Like, it was crazy.
fast. Mm.
So it just became known among the group that no matter how far-fetched an idea was, spit it out, tell us, we will try
Yeah.
anything at this point
It's
to
called
get him out.
brainstorming.
Yeah, like literally
Yeah.
Also,
anything. There are no
I
stupid
know
ideas here.
you said that this is a Survivor episode. I know that things are probably going to get worse before they get better, but I just want to applaud all of the effort and how quickly these people got into action. Because you hear
Yeah.
about people that go missing and then it takes people days and days, or even if people get lost in the woods, it's like, I was there for 2 weeks. No, like these guys, I mean, thankfully he was with a
On
group
it.
of like, what, 10 at this point?
Mhm.
He was one of 10.
And they
But
knew
just,
exactly where he was because of the satellite phone too.
yeah, it's just, I think that if anything were to
Mm.
happen, this was like the best situation because they were found so
So
fast.
one of the paramedics later did call the situation very serendipitous.
Mm,
That everything
yeah,
that
bittersweet.
happened seemed to be
Mhm.
working in his favor. So
Yeah.
we
Oh,
all know
fuck.
it's a
Okay.
survival. There's
Mhm.
no question there.
Oh.
So um finally they had to admit they got to a point that they were not going to be able to get his leg out. So they said it seemed almost as if his leg was perfectly jammed, like the space that it was caught in was meant exactly for his leg. So paramedic Rowan Killam informed the group that every 30 minutes they needed to give Valdez hot tea and hot food. Remember, it's now nighttime, so this water's getting even colder because the risk of
Yeah.
hypothermia through the night was increasing with every moment. Funny enough, actually, Arvidas, the one that I talked about earlier, he was a doctor as well. But he
Oh.
probably understood best among the group what was happening and what was most
Oh.
likely
Mhm.
outcome was going to be.
And that's your friend. Like, that's not even
Wow.
just someone on the team with you. Like, that's one of your good friends.
Yeah. He was a lot.
Oh.
So he spoke very good English actually. And he was in the documentary a lot, and you could tell
Mhm.
he's still very emotional over everything that happened. I mean, so were all the rescuers that were involved in this
Yeah.
as well.
Wow.
So
Okay.
as the morning came, so did the start of his hypothermia. But the shock to the shock of the rescuers, much slower than they had expected. They were surprised at how steady his heart rate still remained and how his cognition never
Mm.
wavered. But it was now November 23rd, and Valdez had been under the water for around 18 hours. Even in his extra thick,
Wow.
warm wetsuit, the elements would eventually get him. So Mitch Parkinson, who was another paramedic on the scene, stated, "I've never seen someone so resilient and so strong and so open to all the methods around him to free him all night. And I still think this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen."
It's his mindset. He
Yeah.
has like as soon as you think you're gonna die, you will. Like, I
So
mean,
Mhm.
even his sister goes on to talk about how, so I forget exactly what he does, but he's somebody who works with numbers, and they were like, he's a very logical person. Everything he does, every move he makes, is
Mhm.
logic based. So she was like, I'm not surprised to hear that this is how he was acting, basically.
I wonder if he just did all like, like how Doctor Strange did all like the different
Yeah.
possibilities of what
Yeah.
could happen. He's like, there's one universe where I survive. And
Probably,
I'm gonna
maybe, yeah.
hope
That's where he was
the
at.
one.
He's like, this is
Yeah.
mathematically, this could be the one.
well,
Yeah.
and also,
it's
I
not
mean, if he is,
impossible.
Mhm.
yeah, and if he is very like analytical, he's thinking,
Yeah.
me panicking, me worrying about it will not help anything. So I
So
just need to be
apparently
as
this is
calm
how
to
he
let
always
them do
is.
his work.
He's just
Wow.
always like a calm person. That's what his sister was
Oh.
saying. So he was never married and never had any kids. So the closest people to him was
So
his
that's
sister.
why.
And so she was, yeah, that's why he's never had major stresses.
He
He's
knows
like,
stressors and it's like,
oh, it's the worst thing? Okay, cool. So at 6:30 a.m., they decided their last attempt to make was going to be to break his leg as they tried to twist him out.
I knew it was gonna go there because, like, honestly, fucking take
I
the
thought
leg.
they were
I
gonna,
can
like,
save
But
on
chop
shoes.
it.
unfortunately, this failed.
Huh?
They weren't able to break it and get it out.
What?
So all
Wait,
the
so they
rescuers
tried,
Okay.
couldn't? What do you mean?
So the only thing that they had left to do is, as Lindsay just
Amputate.
said, was to amputate. So they had
Oh,
Arvidas
yeah.
translate to
Take it.
him, if we
Take
don't
it.
amputate, you will die. And Valdez
Yeah.
didn't argue. He just nodded.
Yeah.
So at 6:51 a.m., Dr. Nick Scott was preparing all the medications that would be needed for his surgery.
Dr. Nick.
Then the unthinkable happened. Dr.
Sorry, hi,
Scott
Dr.
lost
Nick.
his footing, fell on his hand, putting all his weight on it and breaking it.
What?
Oh my God.
By this point, everyone had been there for almost 20 hours. Dr. Scott and the team were very upset. They were not going to be able to see this through, but they thought it was best to request all new personnel at this point and to do it ASAP since Valda's condition was worsening. Yeah.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah. So enter Dr. Jorian Kipex, or Joe. He is an experienced trauma doctor and wilderness kayaker. When he was given the handover, he remembers being horrified. He stated the scene was overwhelming. Tired faces of people that had been working hard overnight, huge boulders, rushing rapids, and just a really hazardous situation overall. Obviously, they tried to assess if there was anything else that could be done, but it quickly became apparent that it was an amputation or death.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of them said in the thing that they were all grappling with this because they couldn't come to terms with the idea that they had to save somebody, that they had to hurt somebody to save them. They said this wasn't what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to be there to save people. They were not meant to hurt people. And so they all had a really, really hard time with this. So you can go to the next photo there. That's Dr. Joe there. And you can't really see Valdez's face, but you can see Dr. Joe trying to reach down to kind of like feel what's going on. So they were met with their first hiccup, though.
Their first hiccup?
Yeah. So the tourniquet was Velcro since Dr. Joe got there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, things have not been going great
all
this
the
whole
other
time.
This
the
hasn't been
first
good.
new one.
So the tourniquet that they had was Velcro and would not work underwater. So they had to use what was called a ratchet strap for gear. So you know those things that they kind of like winch to tighten?
Yeah.
So they had
and
to
those
use this
can
on
get
his leg.
fucking tight.
Well, yeah, because this was crucial for managing the bleeding because you don't want to bleed out during an amputation.
And in water, which is like...
Yeah. Next, anesthesia became tricky as managing his airway would be very precarious in his upright position. So they decided to use ketamine as patients are still able to breathe on their own with this medication.
Damn.
But you can take enough to be unconscious. The heart rate will slow, but it does not stop. So as surgery is normally entirely visual, and no one ever trains you in med school how to amputate underwater, and the procedure isn't exactly sterile by any means in the wild.
Like, it couldn't be more
Non-sterile.
unsterile?
Yeah, not sterile, anti-sterile. So Dr. Joe decided not to wear any gloves so that he could feel better. And
What's the point?
Seriously. And the amputation entirely by feel underwater in these near freezing conditions. Dr. Joe said he really had to battle with himself. He remembered thinking, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to do this because it just felt wrong. He had to remind himself that this needed to be done in order to save this man's life. I'm going to save you some of the details that they went into with the amputation itself. But after getting through most of the amputation, the saw that was needed to go through the bone broke.
What?
Because it's a very, very thin saw that they have to use. I don't know. Think of those. You know those saws that they use where you like kind of go like this? Yes, and they make the noise. That's what he used. It's like that thin that they have to use. So the rapids broke the saw. So they had to break his femur by hand to complete the amputation.
Just give me, hold on. Just give me 5 seconds.
That would not even be easy to do.
Well, I mean, at least it's wedged between some rocks, so you're doing that. But yeah, that would be very difficult to break.
And he could feel some of this.
Well, no, he's on ketamine. This guy's knocked the fuck out.
Okay.
He's having the best time ever
feeling
having
nothing.
his leg.
He's having an out-of-body experience right now, watching everything from above.
High risk of
infection.
Well, that's why they have
bleeding
that
out.
bleeding out. The femoral artery more so. So that's why they have that. That's why it was so important to make
tourniquet.
sure that winch was on there so tightly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So while this procedure felt like a lifetime to Dr. Joe, it actually only took about 2 minutes. Yeah, like literally they
my
show the watch
God.
before and they show the watch after. It was like a minute and 58 seconds or something like that.
Oh my God. It takes me like 2 minutes just to cut a piece of steak sometimes because it's like,
I guess
I
they
can't
were-
believe.
Sorry, that reminds me of the SNL skit that had Pedro Pascal and Ego. God, what's her last name? Anyway, so she's cutting a steak, but it's really well done, and the whole table is shaking, and like the wine's everywhere, and
definitely been
everyone's
there
like losing
before.
their mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just anyway, made me laugh.
Well, Eric
Which
had a
is
steak
this.
the other day that was like really like not, it was very almost too raw and it was hard to
Give it
get.
to me.
Yeah.
That's when they're hard to chew.
You vampire.
Oh my
Get
God,
outta
I
here.
love it.
Yeah.
Let me lick up the blood, put it in my
Little bit
potatoes.
Wait, we've had this conversation, this exact convo before. I know we have.
I love it.
If not, we're having a weird deja vu. Anyway,
Okay.
back to this nightmare.
So finally, at 11:15 a.m., Valdez's body fell back into Dr. Joe's arms and he was free. The doctor anxiously awaited for a gush of blood, but there was nothing. The tourniquet had been working, and but Valdez was still in bad shape. They quickly used a pulley system to get him out of the rock and get him onto a helicopter. Valdez was white as a ghost at this point. His friends were told to go back, but Arvidas said that he remembers kind of seeing him and was like, oh my God, this is not good.
Scary.
So his heart rate and breathing were slowing, coming to almost a halt after about 30 minutes. So they started CPR. This is when the helicopter arrived and he went into cardiac arrest. The team attached a CPR machine and got him into the helicopter as quickly as possible. The rescues all grappled with the feeling that they had killed him. His friends felt that they had already buried him and they were saying goodbye in their mind. The rescuers tried to console Valdez's friends which Arvidas remembers really appreciating at that time. He goes, these guys could have just packed up and went, but they kind of stayed and consoled us all. The team had called ahead to the hospital so they could get the heart and lung bypass machine, which is called an ECMO, ready to go upon arrival. And this was a crucial move on the part of the rescuers to aid in Valdez's survival. Valdez had been in cardiac arrest for an hour and a half by the time he arrived to the hospital. Vital organs could be suffering severe damage, even with the CPR machine attached.
Yeah, like his brain.
So while the rest of the rescue team was being taken back to Hobart, they received a message. ECMO attached, heart rate 90, temperature 26.5. They were shocked that he was alive, but they knew that he still had a long way to go. But there was a glimmer of hope that was restored in these next moments. What was interesting, though, was that so Dr. Joe and some of the paramedics were talking about how Valdez's heart stopped. Apparently, if you suffer from cardiac arrest suddenly, your chances of organ damage and other increases. So because he had hypothermia-induced cardiac arrest,
that helped.
It helped him because it was like slowly going down and they were using the ECMO machine to warm up his blood. So what that does is it bypasses everything. So it warms up your blood outside and slowly puts it back into the body. So they were able to slowly and safely raise everything up afterwards.
Wow.
So on November 27, 2024, 4 days of Valdez being in a coma, the hospital decided they were going to test his brain activity to see the extent of the brain damage. While on the way to do the scan, Valdez woke up.
He was like, actually, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm good.
He stated that he had resigned himself to dying. He said in his mind he heard a hymn, like a hymn you would hear before entering heaven or hell.
Oh.
Then he opened his eyes and he saw all white, and he realized that it was the ceiling of a hospital bed. At first, he was unable to fully know what was happening. Nurses stated that he was thrashing in the bed and his eyes were rolling back into his head. Valdez described it that he was having a nightmare, that someone was extorting him and torturing him and demanding ransom in order to stop, or they would continue to drag him over the rocks. Yeah, he had his first, oh my God, I can't even imagine. So
Full
the hospital
circle,
decided,
bad water dream.
Yeah, exactly. Like thrashing him over the rocks. Like, so the hospital
I
decided
your
to
story
reach,
too.
Oh, my story.
You
Yeah.
started off with one.
Yeah, I had a couple of bad water dreams there. So the hospital decided to reach out to the Lithuanian Community Center to have someone come over and speak to him in his native language, as he speaks very limited English.
I was just going to say, because you said that his friend was helping to translate, so his English was not
limited,
great.
Very limited. Yeah. So
kind of like me with Spanish.
Yeah. So a woman
Limited.
named Jurgita, I'm going to butcher this, Rakoskutkates Stenwicks arrived within 20 minutes, and she asked him to squeeze her hand. At this point, he started to respond, and the doctor stated that he looked so much more relaxed.
Oh.
The first day he didn't speak, but the second day he finally said, "I'm a survivor." And funny enough, he said it in English. Yeah.
Because of the TV show. And then Jeff Probst showed up.
So Jurgita, the nurses, and the doctors were all in tears at this very beautiful moment. Paramedic Rowan, who I talked about before, stated hearing that he had survived and that he had survived with a working brain was just like your heart was just ready to burst. There were more than a few moments of people cheering, "Fuck yeah," you know?
God, I love Australians.
So the next photo there is the rescue team. So Rowan is the one that's the blonde guy in the middle. And Dr.
He looks like a Rowan.
Yeah, right. And Dr. Kipix is the one on the right side there. The guy in the red shirt, he was also in the documentary a bunch. I don't know who the other 3 men are, but obviously they must have been there during all of this.
These are the most Australian looking
Oh my
men
God.
I've ever seen in my life.
It was just so funny how matter of fact they all are. They're just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, like this happened. And it's like, oh, okay.
And we dealt with it. It's all good.
yeah.
And then of course my
But then they start
breaks,
getting
so I get
emotional
my
the more they're
pocket knife.
talking about it as well.
Oh.
And it's just like
Oh.
later on, as the documentary goes on, you're like, oh, okay, like there's the feelings. But before it was very
Our-
like, oh,
Our
like,
guy,
this
he
happened.
looks tired, man. And
Oh yeah,
how,
and he lost
how
so
long
much
after?
weight.
Yeah,
Oh my
how
God,
long after
yeah.
this is this photo? Like within
I don't know
a
when
week
this
or
photo
something?
was exactly,
Mm.
but obviously he was up a little bit more
he
by
does
this
look
point.
really tired. Like you wouldn't
Yeah.
expect this to be the same man who was like, I'm going to tackle level 6 rapid.
No, not at all. So when Valdez was more alert and stable, Dr. Joe tearily remembered introducing himself to Valdez as the person who had to cut off his leg. He felt like he had to apologize to him, and he said that they formed an
my God.
emotional and unique bond with one another. And Valdez told the doctor, "No, I'm sorry." Yeah. Valdez states he knows the only answer was to amputate. Otherwise, he would have 2 legs, but he'd still be stuck there. The main thing is that
He's
I
funny.
survived. I
Mhm.
endured. That's the greatest joy. Valdez was finally discharged from the hospital in January of 2025, and he returned to Lithuania on January 27th. And from here, his new life began. So for a long time, Valdez didn't even want to think about the incident, but eventually, as he got stronger, he began to remember more. He believes that he slipped because of the hard bottom on these new Hydra boots he was wearing, and it made them very slippery on the surface of the rocks. He said, I think it was a bad purchase from the shop. Just very matter-of-factly, I think that was a bad
Not-
purchase.
Not a sponsor of this week's vlog.
1 star.
Yes.
Like,
Everyone go rate these boots 1 star.
yeah.
You don't want any more slipping.
Actually, no, don't, because that's really not good. I don't want to be responsible.
He didn't tell the brand. He just said they were
Okay.
Hydra boots.
Yeah, we don't know the brand.
Yeah. So he stated that he remembers his leg getting stuck in a narrow gap in a way that it could not budge at all. He thought, maybe I'm destined to stay here, stuck forever. But the last moments before the amputation, he does not recall at all. He
Good.
vaguely remembers nodding his head, thinking, all right, do what you need to do. And after that, he remembers nothing. So his brain
Ketamine.
definitely, yeah, well, ketamine, and also his brain probably went into protection mode by this point.
But
Because they
more
also,
so,
remember,
ketamine
they
is the
broke
sponsor
his
of this
leg,
video.
remember?
Oh
They
my
broke
God,
his leg
that's
first
right.
to try and
How
get
far
it
up
out.
his leg did they have to amputate?
So they had to go up to his femur. We do get 2 pictures of where he is
And the
now.
femur, I mean, I know where the femur is.
So
Can
that's
you
your
use-
top big bone, all the way to
Oh,
your
no,
knee.
that
so
big
somewhere
bone?
between the knee and your butt.
Yes, that's your femur.
That's the big bone.
Yeah, that's the big bone. It's the big guy. Which also wouldn't be easy to break because that's a big
No.
fucking
Yeah.
bone. If you
It's-
break a
that's
femur,
why
I
I-
mean, like
when you
that
break
they
a
were able
femur,
to
it's because
break
somebody
it.
has hit you with an iron bat or like you've been in a motorcycle accident. Like breaking your femur
It's
is
happened
not...
to us all. Like the
That's
Iron
why
Bat one.
yeah.
It was so crazy to me that he was able to break it like with his hands.
Yeah, so I think it was just a lot of the
I
leverage
mean, if you've
from
met an
being wedged in
Australian,
the
it
rocks.
kind of makes sense. Like Australians are just
Yeah.
kind of crazy. So
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, where am I? Stuck forever, blah, blah, blah. Remembers nothing. Valdez never made a big deal about losing his leg, though. He was just so thankful to be alive, and he progressed tremendously with his rehab, learning to walk on a prosthetic leg. So the next photo is him now, not with his prosthetic leg, but you can see there how high up the break was.
He looks
Obviously,
much
by
better,
the time they
too.
got to the hospital, they probably had to do it a bit higher as well. Normally they do afterwards,
Yeah,
and I'm
keep
sure
it
that
clean
break
and
wasn't
everything.
clean.
he looks so much better here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does. So fast forward to May 2025, and Valdez is walking, smiling, and even planning to a return trip to the Franklin River in 2026 so that he
Dude.
and his team can finish what they started.
No,
Dr. Joe.
Don't do that.
Dr. Joe said that he's not surprised one bit that Valdez is making this plan, and he'd love to go with him.
Sorry, that's actually so cute. Dr.
Okay.
Joe is like, Valdez.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be there just in case.
Yeah. He's like, I'm
And
ready.
He's like, I have my saw.
Yeah.
Watch out.
So Valdez states, I am indebted to Australia. Australian people helped me to survive, and it brings tears to my eyes when I remember their care. If this happened in any other place than Australia, heaven knows what would have happened to me. So the last photo here is from July 6th, 2025.
That's like
Because,
yesterday.
yeah, Lithuanian president awarded Dr. Joe the life-saving cross, and it recognizes not just him, but all those that were involved in Valdis rescue.
Oh,
This
that's
photo
really
was so
nice.
great.
Yeah.
And they both have that like
Little grin.
tight-lipped man
Yeah.
smile. Like
Mhm.
I'm kind of shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that
Wow.
is my story of survival and decision-making under chaos. Extreme chaos.
very
Let's put it that
incredible.
way. Yes.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I would not
I don't
be able to keep
agree
my
with
cool.
going back, maybe, but you know,
The mom
Lindsay,
and
but-
Lindsay, the
it's
mom
not
and
my
Lindsay
But
is
decision.
you
like,
know,
I can't.
you
I'm
know
like,
people like
Lucy,
this,
be
they just can't like
careful.
this is a true case in point of I am who I am. Like they
He's
just
been
this
doing
is-
it for 50 years. Like
Yeah,
he's not
That's
about
true.
to
It's his
stop.
passion.
What? So he only
Yeah.
has one leg, like he's gonna stop?
Yeah.
I
He's like,
can't
I'm going to spend this
helicopter
year to
mom over
learn.
everybody. I get
Yeah,
it.
there you
I'll
go.
let him do
There you
his
go.
thing. But
Although you would have to helicopter mom to get to him if it happens again. 'Cause
Yes,
there's no
that's-
trails or roads.
that
as
is
Chantal
fair.
said.
There you go.
That's-
Wait, I'm going to see Lindsay with a megaphone in a helicopter being like, we told you
Be
not
careful.
to go.
I know.
Do you have your
No,
fruit
That's
snacks?
a level 5. Only go on level 4s.
Yep.
Be nice. My God. I'm not surprised that when we knew more about him and his personality,
Mhm.
like he is the type to survive because I think he was so calm and even though it's scary, he was like logically,
Mm.
I will die based
Mhm.
on what's happening. So there's no sense in making
Yeah.
a fuss. I'll just try to be as calm to let these guys do what they have to do.
Mhm.
Hopefully
Mhm.
I don't, but like I don't think an average person is that analytical. Like I think most of us would panic and make it
Oh,
harder
for sure.
to be
Or at
safe.
least have a
think
moment of panic. He showed no moments of
people-
panic.
Right. But people who like to do these extreme adventures, I think they do realize there is a chance that they might not make it out. And
You
they
would have
and I
to,
do
right?
it knowing that because they are so passionate about it and love it so much that it's not like they didn't think that wasn't a possibility, but
I think
Yeah.
that's part of the adrenaline rush for them too that gives them the love of it as well.
It's going so
Yeah.
close
yeah.
to it.
You're so close to death that you're
However, I don't think he thought
teetering on the
this
edge.
this
Yeah.
version. I
Yeah.
don't
Sure,
think
you
he's
never
into.
think you're going to be that person. Otherwise, you would never do these things at all.
So
yeah,
I
if you thought it
wonder
was
when he goes
for
back
sure death.
if he's gonna
Yeah.
like see if his leg is still there.
That's what I kept thinking about. I was like, do you think that there's like there probably isn't fish there? It's probably too quick for fish.
But if it's
Right.
that cold,
I think
there
over time
could
it decay a
Yeah.
little
Eventually.
bit
It's
and
only- it's
eventually
hardly
And then,
goes
like,
through
break
the
away.
rock. Yeah,
not even
that's
a
what
year.
I'm thinking.
By the time he goes,
But it might still be there right now.
Oh, but
It would
like
be
you do
so
start to
weird.
shrivel in water, so maybe it would get out. Maybe if he just let it
Yeah.
shrivel enough, God, then he
Just
would
wait
really.
there
Really,
for
it's
like a
his
few
fault.
months.
Yeah. If he just
My
would have waited
God.
it out like 2
Oh.
months, like come on.
This story is insane. This makes me
Yeah.
want to watch that show I Survived. Like
Mm-hmm.
because even although some are extremely upsetting, and I know that Karen from My Favorite Murder loves that show, and she'll tell stories. And I think one of the most famous ones is a woman named Mary who. I mean, for those that didn't hear, I won't ruin it, but she is viciously attacked by some man. She's like a teenager or something, and viciously attacked. And he like the most calm thing he does is rape her. That's the most calm.
my
Everything else
God.
gets worse and worse. And
Oh
he
my
ends up
God.
cutting off both of her arms,
Oh yes, I know this. Yes.
and
know
she
this case.
survives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like freaking insane.
Oh
So
my
when you
God.
watch that show, obviously it's called I Survived, so you know that.
Doesn't
in the
she then
end-
have to climb up like some mountains
Yes!
of shit to get through? And she
well,
was
like
she also
a
stabbed?
very very deep.
Didn't
I
he also
can't
stab
recall.
her a
I
bunch
have
of
heard
times?
this one.
Honestly, probably like
Yeah.
everything. Like he did everything, and then you know, spoiler alert, they end up getting the fucker. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
But just it's insane because you know people die all the time from the most just simple little things, or you fall the wrong way and they hurt their neck and they're done. And then it's just and then on the flip side, some people go through something like this and they survive, and it's just
Well,
like,
it's just so
holy crap.
crazy too that like this tiny little jump that, like I said, he's
Yes.
probably done it. He is
Mhm.
used to jumping from rock to rock to rock to rock, and it's just he
Yeah.
lost his footing this time and then got wedged perfectly in
and just
between.
just the perfect
And they
like,
said
and-
like his leg was like wedged like on an angle and like to the side. So like you know how when
Oh,
you
but
bend your knee to the side, that's why they were like he must have been in so much pain and he wasn't even acting like it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just that it
I-
was wedged behind him; it was like wedged
And
kind
that
of
amount of
side.
pressure on
I
your
hope the cold
leg.
water maybe helped to numb it
Numb
a
the
little
pain
bit,
a
so he
little bit?
wasn't just a
Fair.
little.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
happy that he's not only alive, but he seems like he's
Well.
doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Everyone
if I'm in a life or death situation, cut off the leg, cut off the arms. If I'm not myself in my brain, that's when you take me out into a field and you euthanize me. But if it's a matter of a limb,
yeah, take it.
fucking chop it, baby.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just like the overwhelming consensus was like this man was a survivor. Like he was able to just, and like they said, like that one guy said, I think it was Rowan that said it. It was very serendipitous, everything that had to happen. The fact that he was in this thick wet suit, the fact that he was able to stay so calm and keep himself so calm, the fact that his like friends were there around and to help with like the food and everything, the fact that they were able to get into that spot quickly, because there's probably other spots that aren't that easy to get into as well.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but the first doctor slipping and hurting his wrist. Okay, so this makes
But
me
it also
think,
makes
so
me wonder, this other doctor was obviously meant to do
Yes.
it.
Yes, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no, I don't want to get too woo woo, but I love all the witchy stuff and fate
no.
and destiny.
Dr.
And-
Nick
and
Scott
it-
was not meant to be the person.
No. And it doesn't mean that you have no choice and that everything you do is predetermined, but it just means that sometimes I like to think that there's just other things out there
The fact
that are
that this
trying to
other
help
guy
guide
Yeah.
you.
is a trauma doctor and he's also a kayaker himself.
Yes.
Like,
It was he was the person meant to save him.
yeah.
Although
Yeah.
as Valdez had wonder, why was I meant to go through this in the first place?
I'm
Oh, that
sure
part.
there's, but maybe it was just to show
Maybe
him
there's-
that
Okay,
like you
so
can survive
that part-
Bigger
anything.
reason down the road.
That part could literally just be it was an accident.
Well, that part could
Mhm.
also be you're meant to be a showcase for other people to be of survival, of like I can get through this, of like,
Or
hey,
maybe
I
your
lost my
story
leg, but I can
inspired
still.
someone else to not do this, and
Yeah,
then
Just
fair.
need your leg.
who would have died?
As soon as we get that leg, then you're going to be
Yeah.
a beacon for people.
Mhm.
Well, listen, this is not what I expected, but I was very interested and I was riveted the entire time.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
highly suggest watching that. I have linked both halves of it because it was 2 30-minute segments on YouTube. I highly suggest watching it. It's only an hour long and it's really good the way they
Okay,
laid
so
everything out.
Lindsay will post those on our website,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I'll post photos. And
I
the photos
covered
are not
most
graphic,
of it,
by
but
the way.
like it's still so much better coming from them themselves. So
Well, plus again the
Yeah.
accent.
I know. I was
why
just
we're
when I
here.
didn't think it could get any crazier. It did. And
Yeah.
then it did
I
again,
know.
and then again.
I did not see the doctor slipping and hurrying and breaking his
Neither
wrist.
did
I
when I was
did
reading. That's
not
what
see
I
coming.
got to that part, and then I was like, I'm doing an episode about this.
Mhm.
Well, that was great. And to celebrate, I'm going to go make another Aperol spritz and sit on my balcony.
Okay.
love
Not
Aperol spritz.
not white water rafting.
No, none. I've done black water.
I could
rafting,
see
that's
us doing the
closest I've gotten.
lazy river with an Aperol
Ooh,
spritz.
nice little inner tube and those giant
Yes.
drinks that are like as long as your body and that are slushy. Yes,
I did a light whitewater rafting in Costa Rica, which is just like probably a grade
Mhm.
2 maximum. Like you're literally in like a little, air tube. And then I've done blackwater rafting, which is in caves.
Ooh, that's crazy.
It was
Okay, you and
glowworm-
Valdez
I-
gotta get
Glowworm
out of here.
caves in New Zealand. They were amazing.
Okay, well, worms
Oh,
are pretty cute.
The only
and
thing
they're
I ever
glowing, so-
did in Montreal, they had it was in like a boat thing though, so it wasn't like in a raft. I think I was only like a teenager, so I was too young to do the raft.
Mm.
But I sat at the front, and at one point we went into like a wave, and like the pressure of the wave actually like kind of like hurt my neck a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it was so strong. I mean, I was okay, obviously, but it was
like,
I
yeah,
was sore for like a day.
Let's
I'm like, oh
put
my
this
God.
80-pound teenager in the front
Yeah.
when the giant wave hits. Smart.
Yeah. So I can only imagine for like a higher level rafting
Well,
trip.
Oh my
when
God.
Chantel mentioned
Imagine a
the
level
lazy river
5.
tube, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. No,
Level
I,
1
Lindsay
sounds good.
mentioned that, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, I knew it was one
Somebody
of you
did.
beautiful
Yeah.
people.
Someone.
So it was
Well, thank
one of the three of
you.
us that said it.
It was 1 out of 3, and it definitely wasn't me. So
Yeah. Take a stab at it.
So next week is Lindsay, and I mean probably will cry. So can't wait for that.
I don't even know what's
Yeah, I
coming
do
up.
actually have a sad story next
Yep.
week.
Oh,
but-
fine.
knew
Okay,
it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, but it's a part of Nova
Our
Scotian
world.
history,
Oh.
so you
Oh.
should know it.
And we never talk about Nova Scotia.
Never.
So
Not
I'm
even
excited
once.
to
I'm
learn.
excited.
So I thought finally we should mention it.
Yeah.
For once, like I mean, because there's just not enough content about that from this
Right.
podcast. So
Mm-mm.
Well, I went on site to the location while I was back home.
Don't
so-
say anymore. Don't say
I
anymore.
would say
Save it.
Okay.
This could be a bunch of things. I'm excited though. And there's a 50% chance about Titanic. Okay, let's say goodbye and let's talk.
It's not about the
next
Titanic,
week.
but it might be
Oh.
mentioned briefly.
Of course,
It's hard to not. Okay.
It's fair.
it's a part of our podcast.
This
DNA.
is the Titanic podcast, so
Obviously.
We might as well. Oh, also, thank you for the comments on our Shark Week episode. Some people were like, "How come we didn't get 3 shark episodes?"
Yeah.
And I hear you.
yeah,
So
we hear you. Okay,
Yes, we can bring it back next year. 3 weeks of
Listen,
sharks.
Discovery copied us this
English.
year and called it Shark Fest themselves. So
we said
and
it
then-
first, probably
yeah.
not.
and then somewhere, what's the other one? Or not Discovery? Is it National Geographic? I don't know who originally did Shark Week. Was that Discovery? I can't remember. Either way, somebody
I
copied
think
us.
it's Nat Geo, but I think it was Discovery.
No, it wasn't Nat Geo that
Yeah.
started it, but I think Nat Geo did the Shark Week or Shark Fest. Anyways,
We love
next
Nat
year.
Geo, so.
Next year we'll
Yeah.
bring it back.
Maybe even we'll do some more sharks in the meantime. Okay.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay. Love you all. Thank you for listening. Great episode, Chantel.
Thank
Everyone lived
you.
this time.
Thanks.
This time.
We'll see you. We'll
Buy us
see
a
you next
coffee.
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.